playing replay just like it's a rip.
Oh, Nafisa Collier.
Looking like the MVP.
Shot just erased.
Oh, my goodness, Asia.
Can't be my equal, girl, we not the same.
Obviously, we're not satisfied. All of us are winners. We want to win.
8-0 is great, but that's not what our goal is. Continuing to just have a sense of urgency.
Welcome to WNBA Countdown, presented by Google.
Coming up on WNBA Countdown, presented by Google, we are getting you set for a matchup between the Angel Reese-led Sky, who leads the WNBA in rebounds so far this season, and the Chicago Sky taking on the undefeated New York Liberty, who are trying to keep their season that way behind their floor general, Sabrina Ionescu, who just, by the way, took the crown for three-pointers made in Liberty history, and Breanna Stewart, who just became the fourth on the WNBA all-time list for 20 or more points scored in a game. They get buckets, as do we, as we get you ready for this matchup. I'm not by myself. I'm Christine Williamson. We got Monica McNutt and Carolyn Peck in studio to break this down. Also, a few other things that we're going to talk about as we get you ready for that matchup. You guys ready?
Let's go.
You got that walk and talk.
Girl, this little step right here, y'all, I was a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie, but I didn't fall.
You did?
You did.
All right, let's talk a little hoop, shall we? So we're just about one-ish months into the season, so we're going to talk about some teams that you need to know about as we pass the rock. I'm glad they got that on camera before we went to that. Carolyn Peck, who do people need to know about?
Well, I'm catching the rock, and I'm talking about the New York Liberty. This team, yes, they're the reigning champions, but they look like they are in the form they left off from last year. Listen, this is a team that's got length, they've got talent, they have athleticism, and they have depth. They are leading the WNBA in all the categories, offensively and defensively. They're doing what they're supposed to.
All right, bet, CP, go ahead, swing that my way. I'm going Atlanta, the Atlanta Dream. Look, no, they are not undefeated, but they're having a terrific season led by Alicia Gray, who is playing tremendous basketball. Not to mention, Ryan Howard is putting in defensive effort that we have not seen from her consistently, and Brittany Griner looks comfortable in this offense, getting back to her form, so they're looking good.
And the current best team in the WNBA, they're really on a revenge tour right now, the Minnesota Lynx. They started the season exactly how you would expect them to. After falling in the finals last season to the Liberty, of course, they have on their squad the MVP favorite in Nafisa Collier, who leads the league in scoring. If the Lynx keep this up, they could break the record for best start of a W season, which, by the way, is held by the Minnesota Lynx, set in 2016. So Lynx and Liberty, they're clearly dominating so far. Let's take a look at each of these teams' next few games, because we do have to see how long they can keep this going. If you think about the next 4 or 5 games when it comes to the Lynx and the Liberty, CP, who do you think gets the first loss?
Well, when I'm looking at New York, and no disrespect from Chicago, but it will not start today. But I think that there could be a challenging game tomorrow. Minnesota plays Seattle, and they're playing at home. You've got Skylar Diggins and Nneka Ogwumike that have a terrific connection, and when they get hot and they start shooting threes, they start hurting you outside and in. That can mirror what New York does. So I think Minnesota could get the earliest challenge between these two.
Okay, so I agree with that, but I'm looking at the 17th and the 19th for the New York Liberty. Atlanta presents an opportunity to me in terms of the Dream asserting themselves and showing that they could be the real deal this season. Obviously, it will require a big-time performance from Brittany Griner on the inside. Alicia Gray's got to continue to shoot the lights out from behind the three-point line, and Ryan Howard would have to have an efficient performance. But I got to say, that Phoenix, the Phoenix one for the Liberty, I'm a little bit curious. I think that will be an opportunity where we see that even though Phoenix has been able to hold their own so far this season, they might actually miss the trio that is out in Copper, Thomas, and Mack. Okay, so it's kind of unsurprising that the Liberty and the Lynx are starting this season as they are, because they were in the finals last season. But there are some teams that have surprised us. CP, who has surprised you so far this season?
Shout out to an expansion team and what Natalie Nakase is doing with Golden State. They're coming off winning 2 wins in a row. And what I like about the Valkyries is their organization and how they're able to execute. And look, they're running the aces plays. You remember how A'ja Wilson used to come to the elbow, run the screen, flip the screen, and then get the isolation in the 2-man game for the high-low? Well, guess what? Golden State is doing the exact same thing. Remember when Becky Hammon used to move A'ja Wilson, get to a 5-out, and have her out in the corner? Why? So that after a backdoor cut happens, A'ja Wilson can make that Q cut, get the ball, which Timmy Fanbeglay's getting right there, and then that hard drive to the left, down the middle. Hey, Natalie Nakase has taken a page out of Becky Hammon's book, and they are running it to perfection. They're playing very disciplined with their execution, and that's why they're beating teams. And not to even leave out the physicality that they're bringing defensively.
Yeah. The take a page out of the book is an understatement. Like, took the playbook with her. Which
Yeah,
she
with
did.
no doubt.
Her organization.
No, that whole briefcase.
Honestly,
Yes.
I mean, the way that, and I know this is a couple of games ago now, but the way that the Valkyries matched up against the Aces, it was literally like scout team. We know exactly what you're about to do, but we are struggling to stop it in the Aces. But the team that is surprising me, though, Christine, I was trying not to tease it too much early, but it's the Phoenix Suns. Yeah. You look at what they've been able to accomplish so far this season, despite not having three major pieces to what they're supposed to do this year in Alyssa Thomas, Kalia Copper, and Natasha Mack. So Satu Sabally is carrying that very heavy crown, and she's having a terrific season, doing it 20 points, 7.7 rebounds, practically 8 rebounds per game. I think this group is playing with a lot of confidence, and you see the note there on the graphic, y'all. They are forcing the most turnovers per game, and so it is a combination of finding rhythm and getting easy baskets off of those turnovers, but also playing with confidence. It's actually, to me, CP, going to be interesting when their players start to get healthy, because it will require an adjustment.
You mentioned that Alyssa Thomas will be back for the Mercury on Wednesday, according to their head coach, Nate Tibbetts, which will be huge for them to get another piece of their big three, as you mentioned, back on the floor. So those are teams that are good, that have been surprises on the good side. What's another team that surprised you on the negative side of things?
I am really surprised with the Las Vegas Aces. When you look at how their season went last year, you would expect a motivation coming in, and also their players are healthy. So you look at having 4 Olympians that are on this team, you would expect them to be able to just click automatic. Well, it doesn't come automatic, and I think the biggest thing that they've got to build is the defensive chemistry in order to understand how you're going to defend pick and rolls, to trust each other, that you can gamble a little bit and that back row is going to be there. I think when the chemistry builds, then the defense will build, then you'll see the Aces team you expect.
So this is the graphic, CP, that supports exactly what you're saying. You look at what they've done in their championship seasons, holding leagues or opponents to 34 points in the paint. 3rd best in the league. This year, they're giving up 40. And while that's only a 6-point difference, look at that little thing on the bottom, y'all. Zoom in. 12th in the league. 12 out of 13 in terms of allowing paint scoring. And I think as much as we are often bedazzled by the wizardly passing of a Chelsea Gray, the monstrous numbers of an A'ja Wilson, defense was at the heart of what the Aces were able to do in terms of being successful. You think about Alicia Clark and Tiffany Hayes, who have both been huge 6 women of the year for that team.
Yeah, and Becky Hammon tried to change some things on the defensive side of the ball as they went into this season, and those things obviously haven't been translating in the way that they hoped that it would. So we'll see if they're able to turn that around.